Okay, we are recording, and so we are going to, I'm going to welcome everybody. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join us. We're going to talk about something very important today, and that is LinkedIn. So my name is Valerie Van Boeven. I'm a registered nurse and the co-owner of LTC Expert Publications. And on the line with me today is George Novison. George is also a co-owner of LTC Expert Publications. Hi, George.
Hi, Valerie. Welcome, everyone.
And so we're going to go through how we use LinkedIn, how some of our clients are using LinkedIn, and explain to you the importance of this today. Our clients are always asking us, what are the two most important social media, online sites that I should be concentrating on? And I always tell them there are two. One is Facebook and one is LinkedIn. And Facebook is for reaching out to your community, and LinkedIn is for reaching out to not only your community, but also professional referral sources. So with that, we're going to get started. Let me see here. Okay, so here's kind of how the presentation is going to roll. We're going to talk about getting started with LinkedIn, using LinkedIn's features, growing your network, demonstrating your knowledge, showing off your expertise, gaining testimonials, generating leads, and managing your own online reputation. You can do a little bit of that with LinkedIn. So let's start by talking about who uses LinkedIn. I think some folks are confused about what LinkedIn is really for, so let's talk about that just for a minute so we can get everybody on the same page. First of all, LinkedIn.com is a social network that is aimed toward professionals. So this isn't about beer requests and people who are, under the age of 13 or 13 or to 18 using LinkedIn. This is really a professional-to-professional contact. And what's really important for all of you to know is that making sure your profile is complete and says all the right things and has an actual picture is really important on LinkedIn. So there are more than 50 million users. It's usually seen as an online version of your resume, but it's much, much more than that. You don't have to be in a position to be needing a job in order to use LinkedIn effectively. And it can help you grow your business and expand your knowledge and promote your best work. So home care agencies, assisted living facilities, anybody in the senior service arena can use LinkedIn to really grow their business. And I'm going to show you some of that not only in these slides, but we'll go live to LinkedIn at some point, and I'll show you kind of how that works. LinkedIn can increase your visibility. It can create outlets to gain new leads, which you should definitely be looking for. It can connect you with vendors, future partners, and clients. It can build trust in your brand, establish leadership in your industry, and allow for you and your company to demonstrate expertise, knowledge, and quality of service. And I'll show you that not only are LinkedIn personal profiles or professional profiles important, but also business pages are now important. So I'll show you the difference between those. And if you are someone who has set up a LinkedIn profile with your first name being part of your, like for instance, if we use ABC Home Care as an example, if your first name on LinkedIn is ABC and your last name is Home Care, you need to stop that and rethink the way you're using LinkedIn. It's not about using your company name. This is all about being a visible professional in your community. Okay, so it's much, much more than a resume. Now we're going to talk about what that means in just a second, but you can see this is kind of one of the older looks at what a LinkedIn profile looks like. I'll show you the up-to-date version, what it looks like today, or what it should look like. But everything should be filled out. You want to make sure that you have all of your I's dotted and your T's crossed for your LinkedIn page. The first thing that's one of the most important pieces of this is your photo. You need to have a photo on LinkedIn. Not a picture of your logo, not a picture of your cat or your dog or a flower. It needs to be your face in the picture. So you want to choose something professional, and for a company profile, that would mean a business page for your company. You would choose a logo or a photo of your team. A logo is just fine. And I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute so you can see. But for your professional profile on LinkedIn, I can't tell you how many people have not so hot LinkedIn profiles, and they want to connect with me or connect with one of our groups, and they don't even have a picture on there. And I know that it's, picture's not, the be-all, end-all, but it really does help me make a decision if they're serious about being, connection for me or being on one of our groups. I need to know who I'm dealing with. So the summary section or the experience section, you want to explain why someone would want to do business with you or your company, sort of your elevator pitch, read it out loud. Would you stop and take a closer look? You want to make sure that whatever you use to summarize your experience or your company's experience or why you are in the business you're in today, you want to make sure that that really says something positive about you. Don't leave that part blank. Experience and skills. Explain what you've done as well as what you can do. So in the experience and skills section of a LinkedIn profile, you want to make sure that you're putting down as much experience as is relevant to what you do today. You don't have to go back to 1997 when you were working at the local car wash in high school, but you need to make sure that, from college on that, some of your experience is on there and that it's filled in. Interests, groups, and associations. This is one of the most important pieces of this whole thing. So we're going to talk about your groups and groups that you should be joining and what you should be doing on your profile as well as in your groups. And this is the way that you can generate leads. And there's a few other things too. Recommendations. You do need some recommendations. You should be able to reach out and ask lots of folks on LinkedIn that you really do know well to give you a recommendation or to give your business a recommendation. It's nice to see testimonials. About once a year, I'll reach out to some of our clients and ask them for a personal recommendation on LinkedIn, and that's a really nice thing and folks are usually really happy to do that. Okay, so I'm going to split my screen here, and I'm going to go online and show you some of these things. But first I want to get through this slide. Write an SEO-friendly bio and set up the profile using relevant keywords that pertain to the industry that you're in. So SEO-friendly bio means that you're using the words home care, and if you're a home care agency owner, and you're using the city and state that you serve the most, your metro area. So you want to make sure you're using some of that stuff in your profile and in your explanation of who you are. You want to fill out the profiles for company leaders as well as the company itself. That's on your business page, and I'll show you what that means. You want to use any of the widgets or applications that allow you through LinkedIn to integrate with other tools like importing your blog entries, slideshows, things like that. And I'll show you on mine how we do that. You want to list a newsletter subscription and social media links, anything that you can do to enhance and backlink to your website, you want to do that. And you want to personalize your URL. I'll show you what that means in just a second, because LinkedIn will assign to you a website address to your profile, but you can make that more friendly to other folks. So when you're saying, well, find me on LinkedIn, it doesn't give you all these numbers and letters. It's really a profile about you. So you want to do that. So let me hit escape here. Escape, thank you. And let's go to LinkedIn for a second. So you should be able to see now a link. I'm logged in as me on LinkedIn. I'm going to use myself as some of the examples here. And I am going to go to my profile so you can see what that looks like. One of the things I want you all to know is that I do not use a paid profile on LinkedIn. There's always an opportunity for you to upgrade and go to a higher level of payment on LinkedIn. I use the free version. If I were a recruiter, a job recruiter, or recruiting, mortgage people, or recruiting somebody, and I was full-time, that was my job, I would probably pay to go up a level in LinkedIn as far as using a paid part of their service. But for me, for my purposes, for marketing our business, for sharing information and all that, it's all about I use only the free service. So this is something that you can invest some time in, but you don't have to invest a lot of money in to make it work. So here's what I want you to see. First of all, I put my whole name and my title up here, which is pretty long, but I also put this. home care marketing, home care leads, home care sales, marketing elder care, SEO, PPC, SEM. And I did this because I want to make sure that this is search engine optimized for what we do. And that's really important. So it does just say the name of my business. It says what we do as a business. And I'll show you what that looks like if we hit edit. You can see that right here I can edit my headline. This is called a headline, and you should be able to edit it. And you should have a headline. So you want to make sure you do that. And you can also edit where you are and what your role is. So these are the things that you can edit. You should do that. If you look right here, this is where they show you your LinkedIn URL. Now, they did not assign me linkedin.com/vvanboven. I assigned that to me. So you can hit edit, and you can edit that URL. Of course, it'd take me to something I really didn't want to do, but anyway, you can actually edit this URL. And then for your contact information, I'll talk about this again. You want to have an email address that people can reach you at. You want to make sure you have your Twitter listed here. Even if you're not a big Twitter user, you can still list your Twitter accounts here, or your one account. You want to at least list your work phone number. I don't recommend putting cell phone numbers in there unless that's the only way people can reach you for business. And then, of course, you can put your business address in here if you want, or your personal address. I always leave my work phone number, and this is our business address, so I put that in there. Definitely have some contact information. It doesn't make any sense for you not to have some way for people to contact you that is a valid email address at a bare minimum. This, remember, is for professional to professional networking. And so these aren't a bunch of kids or people just messing around on LinkedIn. It's typically just a professional communication. And the next thing I want you to see is what's here under activity. Because I listed probably my website and some other things, you can see that, here I'm going to hit see more, that here's my activity. It comes in from my websites and from some of the things I post on LinkedIn to my activity profile. So every time I make a post on Home Care Daily in that group, it posts here as well. Every time I make a post on LinkedIn on my status page, it posts here as well. Sometimes I'll do a blog post, and it will come in through to LinkedIn here. So you can see some of the stuff that's going on in my activity. So let's make that a little bit less here. See if I can do that. See less. Okay, so here is the summary that I was talking about. This is your summary of your background and the things that you've done. So I put basically some of my background and some of the background of our company and some of the things that we do. And that seems to help. Now, these are not live links. I don't think it'll let you put live links in here, but it's okay to put in here some of your website addresses. And then also these are some of our PowerPoint presentations. These are all on SlideShare, I believe. So you can see these. You can click on them. Folks can look at those. If I hit see more, there's a bunch more. So these are all in here from SlideShare. Honors and awards. I just put who I was a contributor to online, and those are all of these websites. You may have lots of honors and awards. You should definitely put them in here. And then finally, experience comes into play, and also you can see some of our reviews. So I have 27 more recommendations as the co-owner of LTC Expert Publications. So if you scroll down here, you can see a couple dozen recommendations. Always good to update, always good to get as many of these as you can. It's really super important, I think. Causes that you care about, organizations that you support, all of this should be filled in. There's no reason not to have any, not to leave any of these things blank. It really does matter. And then you can see connections and groups, which we're going to talk about in just a minute, influencers, these are people online that I like to read about, what they have to say sometimes. I really don't have time for that all the time, but it is nice to have read some stuff from Mark Cuban or Gretchen Rubin or some of those folks. And then news, these are and then companies that I'm following. You can see these here. And these are all company profile pages. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So this is what a very robust, very complete LinkedIn profile looks like. Yours doesn't have to have all of this stuff, but to have it 100% filled out is super important. And it even asked me if I want to improve my profile still after all of this, which is crazy. But anyway, I do from time to time go in and update things because that's not, sometimes things change. Add a presentation, add some other things. So this is best practices for getting all of that up to date. So let's keep on going here, and I'll come back to talk about companies in a minute. Add something different, interesting, and engaging to your profile, like TripIt, LinkedIn polls, SlideShare, Box.net files. I don't think they let you do Box.net files anymore, but SlideShare is a super good way to get things out there. Status updates. You want to make sure you're posting a status update pretty regularly. I probably go on almost every day, if not every other day, and put in a link to a blog post, a link to something interesting online. Maybe it's one of our webinars coming up. I can't tell you how many pieces of business and connections we have made over time via LinkedIn. And our webinars always have a good attendance because we are participators in groups. We even have some of the groups that we've formed. And there are lots and lots of folks in there. This is an ongoing process all the time. And for me, even though Facebook is fun and I get to share pictures with family and friends and even clients, LinkedIn is really where our leads come from, and they are where your leads come from. So when I get done talking about this, we're going to talk about from your perspective in your local area what you should be doing. Okay, LinkedIn questions and answers. I don't know if they still allow a lot of, I think they still do questions and answers, but for the most part, I like to answer questions inside of groups. They have targeted categories. Get a feel for the industry atmosphere on LinkedIn and how you might fit in. You can use it to gain insight for your marketing efforts. You can share useful articles published by you or a partner company. A great way to network with other vendors in your industry and show others that you have an edge over the competition. When you answer questions inside of groups, you do all of those things. And asking to connect with someone is like sharing their business card or sharing your business card with them. So keep that in mind. When you're asking to connect with someone on LinkedIn, it's not about being their friend or knowing them off of LinkedIn necessarily, although it still asks you that. It's like you want to share your business card or your brochure with them, and you want to know more about what they do. And that is really important to remember. People always ask me, well, I don't really know that person. Should I connect with them? I think the real question is, do you want to connect with them? Is that somebody that you think you might be able to do business with, or someone you just want to know more about from a business perspective, or what it is they do or what their company does? If so, send them a note and ask them if they'll connect. 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes. It doesn't hurt to ask folks if they want to connect. Building your network from the beginning. You want to start out by connecting with people you know. Well, all of you on this webinar now know me. So if you were to type in Valerie Van Boeven, you would probably only find one person in the universe with that name, I'm going to guess. Probably one, maybe two, but probably only one. And so you're going to find me, and if you send me a connection request, as long as you look like a normal, regular person and you speak English, and I can understand you and you can understand me, I will probably say yes, because I love to connect with folks on LinkedIn that I have a common business sense with, whether it's home care, assisted living, something in the senior service area, and online marketers. Folks connect with me from all different types of businesses, and most of the time they're either online marketers or they're in the senior service industry in some way, or in healthcare. You can use the search feature on LinkedIn. I'll show you that in a second too. And you can ask LinkedIn to scan your email address book, like Outlook or Google or Gmail. Sometimes I will take I'll let it scan my Gmail to see if there's anybody that I've sent emails to that I should be connected with that I'm not already connected with. Because if I'm emailing back and forth with them, I probably should be connected with them on LinkedIn. LinkedIn makes it easy for you. There's even an app for your iPhone or for your Android to monitor your LinkedIn. So if you have some boring time, okay, so here's my big, here I'll admit this. I take one of my daughters to a reading class at night on 2 nights a week, and it's an hour, and I sit out in the lobby. And while I'm there, I have 1 hour to do anything I want 2 nights a week. So I go into my LinkedIn, I get caught up on some of my work, they have free Wi-Fi there. So I am using that hour of sheer boredom to do something online. Whether it's catching up on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever it might be, I try to use that productively. So that gives me the time to connect with folks. So other ways to grow your network. Seek out your current employees, clients, friends, and professional connections. Introduce contacts to one another. Suggest an expert in the industry. Answer questions in groups and forums. Notify your contacts on interesting events happening in your company. Very important. Recommend employees, partners, or vendors. So you can go on and give recommendations just like you could ask for them. And a lot of times giving a recommendation on someone's LinkedIn profile, when they go to see that and accept it, they will also be asked if they would like to give you a recommendation. And oftentimes they will. And so that's a very nice feature of LinkedIn. You can react on the successes of your contacts. So if you see that someone has a new job or they have an anniversary of a job coming up or something like that, you can react to that and comment on that, and lots of people on their timeline will see it. So like Facebook, the more you comment and the more you say, hey, way to go, or would love to connect with you on LinkedIn, the more you say things like that or answer someone's question or ask a question if you're not sure, the more people will see that and the more requests you'll get to connect. Start and have conversations with those in your industry, including prospects and leads. Okay, so develop your network by asking for introductions. You can do that through something called InMail. I think you only get like 5 of those a year or something if you're at the free level. I'm not too worried about doing that. Joining groups and communities is really where it's at. Whoops, let me go back one. Think. Hello, go back. Use your LinkedIn URL in your signature line. So in the signature line of your emails, you could always put the link to your LinkedIn profile and say, connect with me on LinkedIn. Link your LinkedIn profile to your site. Every website that we do for our clients has a LinkedIn button at the bottom of it. And if you click on that, you'll either get the owner's or the professional's profile, or you'll get their business, their company pages. And you can also link your profile to Facebook and Twitter. I'm not sure about Twitter anymore. I know that if I post something on LinkedIn, it automatically sends out a tweet. But I don't think my tweets come in to LinkedIn anymore. Twitter cut out that feature, I believe. But Facebook and LinkedIn, you can link up together. Okay, so this is the part I really want to talk to you about. In order to generate leads, you have to be connected with lots of people, and you have to work on those connections. So the best way to do that is search for business or linked up or LinkedIn groups in your local area. So let's go back to LinkedIn for a second. Escape. All right, so right up here in the top of my LinkedIn profile, there's Home, Profile, Network, Jobs, Interests. Under Interests, there are 2 things I want to talk about, groups and companies. First of all, let's talk about groups. And it's going to show you all the groups I'm in. So these are the groups that I'm in. The ones at the top, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are ones that we manage. That, Home Care Daily, Home Care Leads, Help for Aging Veterans, Home Care and Senior Service Reviews, and Social Media Marketing Strategies for Senior Service Businesses. These are all ones that we take care of and we manage every day. And there's probably a couple thousand people maybe between Home Care Leads and Home Care Daily alone. These other 2 aren't as big. There's probably 600 people in social media marketing. So I post to these groups every week. I try not to overdo it, but sometimes I get a little posty and I post a lot. But anyway, these are the groups that we manage. The rest of these in my list are all groups that I do not manage but that I belong to, and you can see there are a lot of those. and it'll even recommend to me groups I may be interested in. There's a difference between groups that I'm in and groups that you should be in. Of course, you're all welcome to join Home Care Daily and Home Care Leads. They're national groups. None of these in my list are area specific. But you should be joining groups that are specific to your area. So let's do this. Let's say you are in New Jersey. Let's try Healthcare, New Jersey. Okay, let's see, let's try New Jersey, home. Let's see, I'm looking for one specifically, of course. New Jersey Health Care Groups, Healthcare Planning, Home Health Service and Staffing, New Jersey. Let's try Healthcare Planning and Marketing Society of New Jersey. So this is one that you might want to join if you live, and if you can see they have 443 members, and you might want to join them. Now this is going to be some hospital marketers and some medical practices and some home care agencies and things like that. But just think about it this way. There might be some folks in here that are not your competition but are reaching out to the same types of people. So it might be worth your while to join this group and start reading what they have to say and reading about all the events that are coming up, but also maybe joining in on the conversation about what you do. You have to be careful. You want to make sure that you read their terms of service here, or their rules and regulations for this. They don't like a lot of spam and a lot of self-promotion. So you have to be really careful with that. If I lived in St. Louis and I typed in St. Louis businesses, well, I really just want groups. St. Louis businesses. Give me some groups. Give me some groups here. Search. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about for you all too. This is great if you're in home health care or assisted living or any marketer for any senior service. You want to make sure you're joining up with folks that are also business owners in your local area, and this is how you start to generate leads. I want to point out something to you. This is not exactly in the right order, but you can see that, for instance, before you decide to join a group, you should look and see how many members they have. This one has 5,594 members, and 3,000 of them are in my network. So it doesn't mean they're my direct connections. It just means that they're connected to me in some way. And that's not surprising because I live in St. Louis, the St. Louis area. That's a lot of members. If you go down the list, you can see this one drops down to 975 members, 695, 362, 375. And you can see the numbers start going down. So if you get to one that says it has one member, there's really no sense that you only get to join 50 groups. So you may not ever join 50 groups, but there's no sense in joining one that only has one member. So just note that. You want to go for ones that have pretty large groups. And then once you join that group, let's go to some that I already belong to. So I'm not joining new ones. And let's say this is a St. Louis-based group, this Home Care Daily. You can see that right here I can start a discussion. And maybe this discussion is about the fact that we're going to be at the local senior fair in blah, blah, St. Louis at the whatever hotel coming up in November. And I want to make sure everybody knows what our booth number is, come by for a free drawing, those kinds of things. You'll also see stuff like this. Do you use mobile devices like tablets for communication and documentation in the client's home? This is actually a poll that was put up. So there are all kinds of things that might be in here that you can participate in, that you can comment on. I just put this up and it says there are 3 no's. Plan to rent tablets, there was 1, and yes, there were 2. And then it says, I'm in Canada and our company is going to BlackBerry phones for documentation. So this was just my curiosity, and I just wanted to know how people were doing with some of those things. And here's the post about the Home Care Leads webinar today. So people that come to Home Care Daily see me posting about things that are relevant to their industry, relevant to them, and they contact me, and they either want to become my connection, or sometimes they'll contact us and they'll want to make sure that they get a chance to talk to us about their needs for websites or social media or whatever it is. So being a part of a group that is local to you is really important. Here's the other thing. If you look in here and you look under groups and you don't see a group in your local area that makes sense, that you really want to join, you can start your own group. There's create a group right here. You can create a group, and then you have to go back to your contacts and say, I just created this group and I'd love for you to be a member. Please join up. And when you manage the group, that is very valuable. You want to make sure that you're managing it, because you can moderate and keep the spam out, and you can put your own posts in there and do all kinds of stuff. So if you don't see a group that you like, you can create one, but it doesn't help if you're the only person in the group. So you have to reach out and you have to grow it every day. These groups have been growing for a long time, and that's why they have so many members. And some of these groups on my list that I'm a part of have thousands of members. And I don't post to them as often as I post to my own groups, but they definitely do help with all kinds of things. We do a ton of business because of our visibility here on LinkedIn. People will, in fact today, and this person may even be on this webinar, someone signed up for our webinar and then emailed me privately and asked me, just said, I noticed that you are in the St. Louis area, and I wondered if we could have coffee or lunch sometime next week to talk about how our businesses might, be able to connect or, work with each other. And I don't do a lot of local networking and marketing because we are a nationwide company, but I agreed to have lunch with this person and was happy to do that here locally in my area. So, and nothing may come of it, but that is how you use LinkedIn to turn an online conversation into an offline meeting. So asking someone to meet you for coffee, asking someone to, maybe have lunch, or maybe it's just a phone conversation to talk about, and you're asking them, what is it that you do that could be helpful, and how can I help you be more successful with that? And asking them and being interested in them is really important, and then they'll open up and want to talk to you. So LinkedIn is a place for you to start those conversations online and then turn them into offline conversations, meaning coffee, phone, on lunch, whatever it is you can do. So that's really important. That is the best way to use LinkedIn. If you can do an hour a week on LinkedIn, 20 minutes a night, 10 minutes a night, whatever you can do to make more connections, talk to your groups, add content from your website that your latest blog post. If you don't have blog posting, you should. Your latest events that you're going to be attending, those are the things that people want to know about. And when you join a local business group in your local area, those people may have nothing to do with healthcare, but that's okay. They're business owners, and they're probably in the age group where they have adult, they are adult children of aging parents, and they may have some elder care issues that they've never talked to anybody about, or that they would like to resolve, or that they know are coming. So the more often you're in front of those 3,000 people with a piece of information about aging or about home care services or about something your team is involved in, the more often you'll have people responding to you or reaching out to you privately and saying, hey, you know what, I've got this issue. I wonder if I could talk to you about it off of LinkedIn. And that's how you generate leads. Referral sources are the same way. They will respond to you and talk to you offline or off of LinkedIn and become a good referral source. Okay, so that's my spiel. That is one of the main ways. Get on those groups and be a part of them and interact with them. Okay, next. Okay, so for lead generation, use LinkedIn questions and answers or groups to find and respond to targets. Participate in industry-related groups where your leads may be. Now remember, healthcare groups are great, but that's not where your leads are going to come from, so you want to stick with the businesses. Reach out to leads by providing assistance. Include appropriate contact information in your profile. If you don't have a picture and you don't have an email address or a phone number where people can call you, no one's going to email you or call you. So you have to make sure you do that. Thought leadership. answer those questions. Answer those questions inside of industry groups. Use apps to showcase your successes. So if you do have a PowerPoint presentation about the top 10 ways to avoid falls in the home by your home care company, then put it out there. It's worth having those folks who are not healthcare industry people see that you are invested in your community and you have the expertise and information. Showcase your expertise by having white papers, blog posts, and presentations. Again, answer questions in groups and ask for recommendations. You will get them. And asking for recommendations is sort of like getting testimonials, but also respond. Remember, I said LinkedIn will, if you leave a testimonial for someone, when they make it live on their LinkedIn profile, it will then ask them to leave you a recommendation. So that's good. You should do that. Okay, your LinkedIn profiles can be made SEO friendly. So we talked about that. Let's look at a home care agency that has a company page. Whoops. And let me hit escape again. Let's do this. LHS. I'm sorry, that's not what I want to do. Liberty. Health care. Here we go. Okay, this is a home care agency, entire state of New Jersey. This is their actual Liberty Healthcare Services business pages. So the person who created this has to have a real email address that is not a freebie. So you can create one of these. Once you're logged in personally to your LinkedIn profile, you can create a company profile, but you can't be using a Yahoo or a Gmail address to do it. You have to use a real URL. So remember that. It won't let you do it unless you have something that is not considered a free service, because then everybody would be doing this, which they are anyway. But you can add pictures. You can add a list of your services. So if I wanted to look at the services of Liberty Healthcare, I would click on Services, and it'll take me to all of their different services that they offer. I've only added a couple here, but private duty home care services and pediatric nursing. So if I click on private duty home care services, you can see the overview of all of the services that they provide. And I can go back to services, and I can see the pediatric services that they provide. So, and then if they have enough followers, which in this case they have 91 followers, I can see their insights, and I can see their analytics. I can see who came to their site. It says nothing to report right now. They haven't shared any updates. So if I go back to home, I can see all of the stuff that their feature groups. They have a feature group that's nurse staffing. You can see some of the people that are connected here. So there's all kinds of things that you can learn about this, but what's important is that if it's search engine optimized correctly and you've put in all the right stuff, then this may show up on the first page of Google for some of their local office areas, and that's really important. So you want to put updates here. Now, I have not found a way to update this page automatically. I do update my LinkedIn profile automatically from my blog to my personal or professional profile on LinkedIn, but I have not found a way to do that for the pages that are set up. So you have to manually go in here and put in an update. What happens when you put in an update is not only will it show up for you, the person who just put it in, but it'll also show up for on the page of, or the home page of the 91 followers that are following, so they will be able to see it too. So it's super important that you add updates all the time, and that will get people to engage with you. Let's look at LTC, expert publications. Okay, so LTC Expert Publications, there's really just me and George that are on here as far as the employees go, but you can, if you scroll down, you can see that here's one of our recent updates, and then this one was a recent update. This one was a recent update. So you can see that we've been putting them in by hand. If you look at our services, you can put as many service pages in as you want. This has had 173 impressions. So if you were to open that up, it would show you some of our services. And you can go to Insights. It'll show you, well, what other people are looking at besides us. And if I go to Analytics, it'll show some of how many impressions each one of these got. If you choose to sponsor it, that means you're paying for the ad. So that means that you're going to pay for every time somebody sees that post. Well, we don't sponsor these posts, but you can see some of these. Total followers, how they are lined out, and just different things like that. So you can use company pages to your advantage. You can fill them out completely. We have 113 followers. And is there something we could do better here? Absolutely. We could make this more robust. We could add more services. We could add all of our website links to it. We could do a whole bunch of stuff to this page. They really don't limit you too much in what you can do. You have to stay within their boundaries, but they don't limit you as far as how many pages you can add or what you can say. This is a really good thing to take advantage of. But remember, you have to have a professional profile first with your human being picture on it. Come out from behind your brick and mortar building and present to the world who you are. You are the face of your company, especially in healthcare and especially in home care and assisted living. People want to know who they're doing business with. This is a trust issue. LinkedIn helps you gain that trust of your local community, showing that you are a professional, you are passionate about what you do, you have expertise, and that you aren't afraid to engage with other human beings online. So really, really important to use the professional piece of your profile as you, not as your company, and then from your professional profile, you want to create a business set of pages, and you can do that. All at the free level, and join groups or create your own groups and invite people to come to them. You can do this. You can also, you can also go to your contacts and you can download a CSV of all your contacts. So right now in mine it says 500 plus connections. There's like 3,700 connections in here or something, I don't know. I download that to a CSV, and I can upload that, all my connections, I can upload them to my newsletter, my e-newsletter account, and have my e-newsletter start going out to those people. So it makes it really easy for you to download stuff, download all your contacts out of here, and put them into a situation where they can receive your email. So those are the kinds of fun things that I use, and this is, for me, it's about every other day that I'm on here. I know everybody wears a lot of hats and you don't have a lot of time, but if you can just get on here once a week and accept some professional connections, make some connections, make some recommendations, you'll be good. Okay, from current slide. Okay, so you want to update often. You want to use LinkedIn as an informal media center for your business, which is what we do. We always post our webinars. We post anything that we're doing, anything that's important, any updates from Home Care Daily go on there. It's a more social but professional look at your company. So that's true. You want to make sure you have a great professional profile and company pages. And you can celebrate your employees' successes. So you can go on here, and if you are looking for key staff members, it's nice for them to see your engagement on LinkedIn and how happy your employees are, or that you are celebrating their successes. So that's another piece of this. LinkedIn profiles and pages can use search engine friendly text. You should do that. Lots of opportunity for gaining social exposure. Links back to your site are good, even if they're no follow links, meaning if LinkedIn doesn't give you the credibility of a follow link, that's okay. They are good to have links back to your website. It can be used in your link building efforts, trying to reach out to experts in your field, and guest posting opportunities. You know, at LTC Expert, we talk all the time about being a guest author on other blogs and other websites. And we have 6 or 7 authority sites that we allow people to be our guest bloggers on, so that not only they can share their information, but they can get backlinks and all that. LinkedIn is a great way to find other people that they may be going after the same group of seniors and adult children of aging parents, but in a non-competitive way. So a home care service might find a good senior home modification service in their area that they can work with. And on their websites, they might write an article for each other. Those are the kinds of things you're looking for. You can do market research and gain knowledge with LinkedIn polls. You can share the results through a blog post, a case study, an infographic, and other form of marketing materials. So home care doesn't have to be boring all the time. You can make it fun, you can make it worthwhile, and you can share your information on LinkedIn for others. So here are the next steps for you right now. What you should be doing is you should go to linkedin.com and properly set up your profile. Put your picture on your profile. Take it with a cell phone. It doesn't have to be a glamour shot. It just needs to be a nice picture of you that doesn't look like you just woke up. You can connect with me. Please connect with me, Valerie Van Boeven. I will accept your request as long as you don't have like a picture of a clown in your profile. Join groups, add connections, invite an online connection to an offline meeting or phone call. If you use LinkedIn to your advantage, you will get more referral sources, and you'll get more referrals, and you will get more leads. Hands down, it will happen, but you have to use LinkedIn properly. Setting it and forgetting it is not the way it works anymore. You cannot set it and forget it. You have to interact with people. So, having said all of that, I always take questions at the end of our webinars. So if you have a question about anything I've talked about, whether it's online marketing, senior, content, strategy, LinkedIn, something about LinkedIn profiles, something about, what you're doing out there on Facebook, anything you want to talk about, I have some time, so we have about 10 minutes, and I'll be happy to answer questions. So what you need to do is you need to type in your question. You have a little dashboard, and in that little dashboard it says questions. And you can type in your question, and I will go through and answer the questions on a first-come, first-served basis. I see a couple in there already, so I would like you to go in there and start typing in your questions. And if you need more information or if you have questions about other things that I didn't cover today, this is really all about LinkedIn today, but you're welcome to go to our website, ltcsocialmark.com, or you can call us at 888-404-1513. Just remember, I'm not the LinkedIn question and answer center, so if you need support on LinkedIn, you need to go to the LinkedIn support center for that, not me. But certainly that we do tons of other things besides, just talking about LinkedIn all day. So if there's something else you need, go to our website, look at our services, and we're happy to help. The other thing that I want to remind everybody out on this webinar about is that if you go to findqualityhomecare.com, findqualityhomecare.com, you can enter your business profile for free, and it gets you a nice, big, robust page for your profile. You have to add a picture or a logo. We will not accept any of the listings without a picture or a logo. So those will be terminated. But if you put a picture or a logo in there, you can have your listing for free on one of our websites, which is always a valuable backlink. So findqualityhomecare.com. Go enter your home care agency, assisted living facility, or other senior service on there. So let's see what kind of questions we have. Let's see. I am going to make this go out and make it big. Bing. Let's see here. Okay, does it matter what email address I have linked to my LinkedIn personal or work? Okay, so Chris, no, it does not matter which email address you use unless, and you can actually associate 2 or 3 email addresses. So let's say on mine you see that vvanbooven@yahoo.com is my email address that I have listed. Well, it's kind of my spam email, but in order to create our business page, I also have another email address that's in there in my profile. Valerie@ltcep.com is in there. So you can have as many email addresses, I think, as you want. At least I have like 3. So But you have to designate one as your default, and so that one would be the one people will see. But you can use anything you want there. Is this being recorded, and will the PowerPoint come out? Got on late? Yes. I will send the recording out. I never send out the PowerPoint presentations. Okay. So somebody said you get 5 free introductions a year, but no free emails. Only LinkedIn, you can choose which update you want to send to Twitter. Okay, so someone was just giving me an update. So you don't get 5 free emails, you get no free emails, but you get 5 free introductions per year. I don't even use introductions. I just send them a message directly. People who are on LinkedIn and who are avid LinkedIn users are not afraid to connect with other people, and you shouldn't be either. I don't connect with people that are from another country, and I cannot understand what they are saying to me. That's not someone I can connect with and actually do business with, so I don't connect with them, but otherwise I do. We have lots of connections that are from Canada and the UK. If they're not writing their requests in English or their posts in English, if their profile is not in English, and a lot of them aren't, and that's okay, but I don't connect with them because I can't communicate with them. Let's see. Can the PowerPoint be emailed to me? No, but I will send out the recording. Could you repeat how you download your contacts? I missed the link you mentioned. Oh, okay. So in LinkedIn, if you go to Profile, so you go to Network, go to Contacts. This is how you download all your contacts. Let's see here. And there's this little button right here. I think this is it right here. Or I could be wrong. Go back to contact. Oh yeah, there it was. I saw it. Okay, so I clicked on that little thing, and it says Export LinkedIn Connections. Ding, 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 right here. And it sends you everything. So you can see I have 4,378 contacts, and it'll export all of them to me. So that was Network, Contacts, and then I went right over here to this little Settings button, and I clicked on that, and you just click on Export LinkedIn Connections, and there you go. All right. Do you find LinkedIn more helpful for generating leads than Facebook? For home care, absolutely I do. Facebook is about reaching out to your community. It's about being involved. You should definitely use Facebook business pages to your advantage. Do not set up a profile as a business. You need to have a personal Facebook account, whether you use it or not, and then from that you need to set up a Facebook business page, and that's where you need to post all your cool stuff. Every senior fair you go to. So LinkedIn and Facebook can have the same kind of content on them, but one is more for professional business people, and one is more for reaching out to your community on all kinds of different levels. You know, non-professionals, professionals, and people of different age groups. So you're not going to find a bunch of retirees and seniors. You're going to find some seniors, people who have adult children or who are adult children of aging parents here. But if somebody's 80 years old, they're probably not going to be on LinkedIn, but there's a higher chance that they're going to be on Facebook looking at their grandkids' pictures. In my world, I have a couple of folks that are in their later years who look at pictures on Facebook. So, and you have folks that have adults, who have aging parents who are on Facebook. So it's reaching out to your community on all levels for Facebook, but you're going to get more referrals and more personal or professional business contacts and leads from LinkedIn. Review how to make my blog show up in activity. Okay, so if you have a blog that has a blog feed, you can go to, and I can't go into all the specifics on this, but if you go to a place called twitterfeed.com, twitterfeed.com, it's free. You can set up an account, and you can make sure that your blog post, your RSS feed from your blog, goes to 3 different places are the options. One is Twitter, one is Facebook, and one is LinkedIn. And you should have all 3 of those set up. All right. What privacy settings do you recommend? Okay, that's a good question, Cindy. So for privacy settings on LinkedIn, I have mine set pretty loosey-goosey. I'm much more strict on Facebook than I am on LinkedIn. To me, LinkedIn, not to say that there couldn't be a weirdo on LinkedIn, but for me, there's much more possibility of the people of Walmart being on Facebook than they are on LinkedIn. So I'm not real, if you don't make your profile public, if it's a private profile, which is possible on LinkedIn, you will never connect with anyone. So that's not even worth it. So if you're going to do it, make sure you have a public profile. I'm sure there are some high-level CEOs of companies who have a private profile on LinkedIn. But for general purposes, make sure that people can contact you. Don't share a personal phone number if you don't want to. Put an email address in there that may be, your junk mail email address as long as you're checking it. I always put my, I make sure that I see every email that comes to me through LinkedIn. Okay. Hi, V. Is there going to be a recording of the session? Yes. Where do you find SlideShare for posting presentations? Oh, just go to slideshare.com. Slideshare.com, slideshare.com, slideshare.com. If you type in home care marketing on slideshare.com, slideshare.com, you'll find our presentations there, some of them, not all of them. No slides. I typed LinkedIn to the search bar, Valerie Van Boeven. Why can't I find you on LinkedIn? Larry, you need to make the Van Boeven all one word. So when you type in Van Boeven, V-A-N-B-O-O-V-E-N, don't put a space between the Van and the Boeven, and you'll find me. Or type in Valerie Brothers, like brothers and sisters, and you'll probably find me that way too. Do I have to show the URL for each page to carry over to LinkedIn, and where do I put this info? I'm not sure what that means exactly, so I'm going to skip that one. Do I have to show the URL for each page? Carry over to LinkedIn, and where do I put this info? Okay, so I'm going to let that one go. What are some of the best businesses to partner with home care? You mentioned contractors to accommodate homes. Well, if you're in the home care business, think about all the things that your seniors could use in their homes. Some people need home modifications to keep them safe. Some folks could probably use diabetic supplies. There might be a local DME company that you would want to make sure you're connecting with, durable medical equipment. There could be some people that specialize in different things, like there may be in home modification, there could be a bathtub installer, there could be a general contractor, there could be all kinds of folks out there. Elder law attorneys. Some of these folks need an elder law attorney for durable powers of attorney and trusts and wills and things like that. Some people need a geriatric care manager on top of home care if you don't provide that kind of a service. There are all kinds of professionals who serve the senior community who are not your direct competitors. Even assisted living facilities and home care agencies should get together, of course. Sometimes they're in competition for that same client, but oftentimes they can help each other. So that's really important, I think, too. All right, let's see. Do you use Card Munch? No, I do not use Card Munch. And when people, and that may be a good, I have no idea if that's good or bad, but there is something going around on LinkedIn where people say, you're someone I trust, and I would like you to fill out something on, give me a review on blah, blah. Well, whatever it is not a recommendation via LinkedIn. It's a third-party service that they've allowed that third-party service to send this goofy email out to all their contacts. I just delete those immediately. I don't know what it is. I'm not doing it. I don't know what Card Munch is either, but would be happy to test it out and look at it. I am not an in-person networker like you all should be, so you all should be out there shaking hands and looking people in the eye and handing them your business cards. I'm more of an online person because we're nationwide. So unless I'm at a conference, I often don't meet our clients in person. It's always via webinar or GoToMeeting or phone. So I don't hand out business cards as often. At Fine Quality Home Care, what is the location to post the listings of a company? You just look to the right-hand side. It says Add a Senior Service, and there you go. Do you find the jobs option with LinkedIn gets good employee applicants? William, I don't use the job option within LinkedIn, but I do get a lot of job recommendations for me because I'm a nurse, so it just kind of naturally happens. They're not ones that I would be interested in, but because I have RN behind my name, I get them all the time. And I do find that for folks who are really serious about hiring top quality professionals, it would be worth using LinkedIn for that. If you're just looking for CNAs, home health aides, I would not find it to be of interest for that level of employee. But for key staff in an office, absolutely. What sites do you suggest for a blog? Carla, I suggest you have your own blog on your own website, but if you don't have that option, you could use WordPress.com, or you could use Blogspot or Blogger.com. Can a copy of this presentation be emailed to me? No, ma'am, but I will set up, everybody will receive a the YouTube video link. I can attest to the success in growing my business and network with LinkedIn. I've made a concerted effort for about a year, and it works. I have to work it constantly, like you said. Also, it has increased my knowledge base in both home care and the changing dynamics that are happening due to ACA and other facets of healthcare reform, things such as ACOs. And that is awesome, Glenn. That is truly what LinkedIn is all about, is helping people have more information about what's going on, not only locally but nationwide. And there's all kinds of groups who get into these wonderful discussions if you have time for it. And I don't always have time for that. But it's a great learning place, and it's a great place to reach out, ask questions, and connect. And just so you know, tons of apps. So if you, and what I mean by that is, it doesn't matter if you have an iPhone, an Android, a tablet that's an Android, or an iPad. LinkedIn has apps for that. So if you don't have a laptop everywhere you go, it doesn't mean that you can't get on LinkedIn and make a connection or answer a question or look at what's going on in your groups. You can do that. You just download the free LinkedIn app and it'll do it for you. It also has a LinkedIn contact app that'll take all your contacts off your iPhone or your Android and put them into your contacts or do something with them so that they all sync. So I did sync all of my contacts. It'll also sync your, it'll also, if you use Evernote, you can see that. You can see some of these applications that are right on this page right here. Evernote, TripIt, CardMunch. See, I don't use business cards, so I guess that's why I'm not using CardMunch. You can import stuff from any of these places. And I have LinkedIn, Gmail, and my iPhone address book all synced together. So if it picks up someone that I'm not connected to that I should be, it lets me know. Like someone who's in my Gmail that has a LinkedIn profile but is not my connection. So I hope that answers all of your questions, and I appreciate all of the great conversation back and forth. If anybody else has any other questions, please contact us at 888-404-1513 or go to ltcsocialmark.com. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will be sending you an email to follow up to give you the replay link that will be on YouTube, and you can share that with anyone you like. All right, thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye, George.